welcome to this week's edition of the Dakota Angler 2-Minute Fishing Report. Well, the cooler weather definitely has people thinking about fishing, and a lot of people are talking about perch fishing. And you know, the perch bite is there. It isn't quite yet, a real consistent, good perch bite, but a lot of people are coming away some nice perch, especially up in the northeastern part of the state. But with the cooler weather and the cooler water temperatures, it's only going to get better from here on out. As far as the walleyes, though, are concerned this past week, again, the cooler weather definitely helped that bite. The lakes up in the northeastern part of the state that produce walleyes include Waubay, Indian Springs, Rush, Hazelton, Pius, Bitter, Pickerel, Opitz, Stink Lake by Eden, as well as Reed, and then also Dry Lake by Clark. Down the southeastern part of the state, the lakes that have been producing walleyes continue to do so. Dry Lake by Willow Lake, Thompson, Ponset, 81 Ponds, Sinai, Whitewood, a few being caught there, as well as a few being caught at Island, and then also Twin and Vermilion. Now, what are guys doing to catch the walleyes? And really, it hasn't changed much over the past couple of weeks. A lot of people are having quite a bit of success pulling bottom bounces with spinners. And again, slow depth seems to be the trick with a half crawler or an artificial crawler like the killer crawlers from Berkeley. Also, a lot of people are pulling plugs, covering that water, looking for those active fish, hornets, flicker shads, shad dancers. Also, a lot of people are using the Walleye Nations type of bait, such as the shaky shads. Also, people are continuing to snap jig and then also using jigs and swim baits, such as the walleye sasses. It seems like those larger baits now are becoming more and more popular the cooler the weather becomes. And as far as the perch bite is concerned around the area, again, as I said, it's starting to pick up more and more each week. With lakes that produce perch include Rush, Waubay, Pius, Big Stone, Ponset, Dry Lake by Willow Lake, Thompson, as well as Island, Madison, and Vermilion. And then as far as crappie is concerned, again, a lot of nice crappies being caught around the area, especially Lake Thompson and Pickerel. Those are the two main ones right now. Other lakes include Ponset, Sinai, Madison, and Vermilion. Now, what are guys doing to catch the panfish? Again, nothing special. A lot of jigs or ice fishing jigs underneath the bobber have worked really well. And then other people are using drop chain lures like the Haley or the Pilkey, or even the Castmaster has been working well with small minnows and then also waxworms on occasion as well. And we have plenty of waxworms on hand here at the store. In this week's version of Todd's Tackle Tips, we're going to continue talking about perch fishing. Now, last week we talked about the rods and briefly mentioned the reels. We're going to spend a little bit more time about some of the other things that you're going to need to be successful when it comes to this fall's perch bite. Number one is the making sure you have the right tackle. If you ice fish, folks, you have the right tackle. A lot of those ice fishing jigs are going to be just as successful as they are in the ice fishing season. Plus, also, a lot of people forget about the drop chain lures. And as I mentioned in the report, the Haleys, the Pilkies have been working really well. Also, don't be afraid to use some plastics. We just got some new Gulf waxworms in that work quite well. Also, don't forget about the live bait. Minnows and waxworms will work great this time of year. The other thing is also making sure you're using the right type of line. With that ultralight rod that we talked about, you're not going to want to use a 10-pound line. You're not fishing walleyes out there, folks. You're going to want to use some smaller poundage or lighter poundage line, whether or not you use a monofilament, a braid, or a fluorocarbon. This time of year, honestly, I really kind of prefer using a fluorocarbon, anywhere from, let's say, a 2 to 4 pound fluorocarbon on my ultralight rod. And with that smaller poundage line and smaller diameter line, you're going to want to make sure that you go to a smaller size reel. This one here is from Daiwa. This is the QR750. These are very popular reels, and the reason why we tell people to go to a smaller size reel, number one, you don't need to have all that line in that spool, but number two is that you want to balance that rod with the proper reel. So the Daiwa has a great line of reels out currently that we have in stock. Also, here's one from Okuma. This is the Seamar reel, very popular during the ice fishing season. We have two different sizes that would be appropriate for the perch season. Another one, Fluger President. Very popular reel for as many years as I can remember. Again, multiple sizes, great price, and a perfect reel for the perch season. The last one a lot of people don't really recall or they kind of forget about is the Tika line. The number of Cetus reels. These are fantastic reels with great drag, and that's what you're going to look for with the ultralight. Very smooth reel, but make sure that the drag is a very good, very solid type of drag. So if you have any questions about any of these reels or the line that we talked about, or the tackle about making your next perch bite out there and your next panfish trip out on the lake a successful one, make sure you stop on by and don't be afraid to ask us the questions that are on the top of your mind. That's what we're here for, folks, is to make sure that we serve your needs. And for this upcoming perch season, I hope you remember Dakota Angler. And now it's time to take a look at a few photos that you sent in to me this past week. And folks, don't be ashamed to share your photos with the world, so to speak. Feel free to send them to me. I'd be more than happy to put them in next week's report. Just send them to todd@dakotaangler.com or post it to our Facebook wall. And before I end this week's report, I want to remind you to mark your calendars for the 14th Annual Dakota Angler Ice Institute, November 11th through the 13th at the Sioux Falls Arena and Convention Center. And yes, that's a distance away, but with the cooler weather, a lot of people are thinking about ice, and honestly, not the ice that you normally would put in your drink, but ice fishing. And, it's that time of the year where people are starting making plans. And if you're a vendor, if you're a businessman that would like to put your, let's say, your ice fishing business or anything that has to do with ice fishing or anything that you'd like to sell in front of a large group of people, the Ice Institute is for you. You need to be a vendor at our show. And if you'd like to be a vendor, feel free to send me an email at todd@dakotaangler.com, and I'll be more than happy to send you a registration form. And honestly, folks, we're very pleased with the upcoming show. We have a number of new vendors already, and that list is only going to grow from here on out. Well, folks, that's this week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report for Dakota Angler. I'm the owner, Todd Heitkamp, and as we say around here, fish on! We'll see you next week, and again, thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Stay healthy and stay safe.